we worked on a program to add two numbers, right? So this was it. You have A, you have B, and you just added two numbers to get C, and which was eventually printed. Right? Now, if you notice, a plus actually is an operator that we are using here. Now, we have not really defined how is plus supposed to behave. It's implicit in our mind that plus is supposed to add two numbers, and that's how it is, right? So this basically is an arithmetic operator. Similarly, we have other arithmetic operators as well. So in this session, let's explore what are different arithmetic operators and what are interesting things around them that we should know. Okay, so starting with what are different possible arithmetic operators, we have already seen plus to add two numbers. Then we have minus, there is multiply, there is divide, and there is modulo operator to calculate the remainder. Now let me create a new class for arithmetic operators. My bad. Right, and include main, and let's just explore that. So this is what we have. I'll create A as 10 maybe, and int B as 3, let's say. So this is what we have for now. Now we have seen a couple of operators that they are multiply. So multiply will multiply two numbers, plus, add, minus, right? Interesting will be modulo. And now if I print C, so modulo operator is going to calculate the remainder. So when you divide 10 by 3, basically, ideally this is how we do, right? So you'll multiply it by 3, then you have remainder. This is quotient, which is given by the divide operator. This is the remainder which the modulo operator will give us. So now if I just save it and run it once, so you'll see you have answer 1, right? So the remainder is 1. This basically is the remainder. Similarly, 10 by 3 is going to give you the quotient, and that is 3. Now one thing that I want to highlight over here is just notice that when you are doing 10 by 3, answer is 3 and not 3.33 and something. So that by that I just want to convey that the answer is an integer and not a double number, not a decimal number, right? So by default, if the operation that you're performing is on two integers, then your answer will be integer. So here 10 is an integer, 3 is an integer, so answer is an integer. Similarly, let's say had this been 10 by 30 maybe, that is 1 by 3 effectively, what do you think the answer would have been? So answer in this case would have been 0, right? So because 10 by 30 is 0 point something, and because it's an integer, so we will actually store it as an integer, right? So the other calculation will be as it is an integer. So just ensure, keep that in mind, that answer is going to be a 0 and not a decimal number. Okay, so this was what we were talking about, plus, minus, multiply, divide, and mod. Now one thing if I can do, let's say if I change it to double maybe. Let's say you said that the answer is going to be an integer. What if I make it double? Now can I expect a decimal value? So if I just run it and we check here, so the answer is 0.0 decimal value now, but the answer is still 0. Now why is it still 0? Just make sure that at the time of calculation, when you have a statement like this is the right hand side, this is the left hand side, right? So right hand side is solved first. So while this expression is being evaluated, it will check type of the operands involved in the operation. 10 and 30 are the operands, and operator is divide, right? So at the time of this calculation, these two operands are integer, so answer will be as an integer, and then it will be stored in a double. So just ensure that this is not going to change the result. Writing double over here is not actually going to change anything for you. So the calculation goes according to the way they are as integers. Okay, so this was what we have currently. Now let me make a couple of changes to C. And for now, forget about A and B. Let's say I have something like this, an expression like this, right? So 3 plus 2 by 5. Now just pause the session, think and tell that what will be the answer of this expression, what will be the value of C. So now let's just run it and check. So answer here is 3. Now by that we actually mean that if we have an expression like this, 3 plus 2 by 5, the only point confusing is whether plus will happen first or whether divide is going to happen first. So had plus happened first, it would have been 5 by 5. Answer would have been 1. But here in this case, division is what is happening first. So this is 2 by 5. 2 by 5 is 0. So answer is 3 only. Okay, so this is what we have as answer. Now why is division happening first? I hope you remember BODMAS, right? So bracket and multiplication, division. So this is what we have. So divide has more precedence than plus. So there are multiple operators, then one operator will have precedence over other operator. So division has more precedence over plus, which is why division is going to happen first. So this was division. Similarly, multiplication and mod, they have same precedence, and plus and minus have lower precedence. This is minus. So divide, multiply, mod, they have equal precedence. So if you have an expression like this, which has division and which has multiplication, which has addition, then division definitely is going to happen first, according to the BODMAS rule. Okay, so now this brings us to a point that if I add multiplication over here, right? Now multiplication and division are of same precedence, right? So if this is the case, what will be the eventual result? So do you think 2 by 5 will happen first, or do you think that 3 into 2 is going to happen first? Again, pause the session and think. Let's just run it and we'll check. So now if you run it, the answer is 1. What does that mean? So that actually means that multiplication is the one that happened first. So if you have an expression like this, 3 into 2 turns out to be 6, and then there is this happening, right? So why multiplication first? So in case there are multiple operators with same precedence, then in case of arithmetic operators, the evaluation goes in left to right direction. That means the leftmost same precedence operator is evaluated first, and then the result is calculated in left to right. So we call it associativity. So this is what it is. So based on their associativity, we are calculating that what will be the result of the expression. So in this case, the evaluation takes place from left to right. Had it been 3 plus 2 by 5, there would have been no confusion. 2 by 5 would have happened first, but because this is multiply and divide and they have same precedence, which is why this is associativity is coming into picture. Right? So I hope this makes sense to you, because this is a common mistake point. We end up doing this and we don't realize what we are actually doing. Okay. So now let's say I want to do one simple thing. I actually want to do B, or write an expression like this. So B by 2A. Right? So this is what I want to do, and I'll change values first of all. So let's say A is 3 now maybe, and I want to do 10 by 6 effectively. So for that, let me write it this way. So B divided by 2 into A. This is what I want to do. Right? Now, considering the expression you have here, what do you think is going to be the answer? So B is 10 by 2 into 3, right? This is the effective statement, and we want to do actually this, B by 6. So if I run it and we see, the answer is 15, and ideally as per 10 by 6, answer should have been 1. That means we are doing a slight mistake here. What do you think is the mistake? So as we said, divide and multiply have same precedence, right? So because they have same precedence, as division is happening first and then multiplication. So this is not what we actually want to do. So if I specifically want to do B by 2A, I will have to use bracket over here. Something like this. Because bracket has highest precedence, right? So if you are putting bracket, then that part or the part within bracket will be evaluated first. Now we should get the correct answer. 2A should happen first, and then we divide it with B. So this is what we have. Right? So I hope you have clarity around different arithmetic operators, precedence amongst arithmetic operators, and associativity amongst them. Right? So this should be clear. This might sound a little tricky in first attempt. In case you are not thoroughly clear, just go through the session again. In fact, try a couple of values, couple of examples yourself as well. Thank you.